Welcome. Everybody, you excited for Cuco? My name is Canyon Cody. I'm the host of Alternalido, the KROQ show every Sunday dedicated to Latin alternative. We play a lot of Cuco. Check in with us every Sunday, 11 o'clock. We've been playing him since day one. He's got some new music. He's going to play a song tonight that no one has ever heard before. All right. We ready? Let's bring out Cuco.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How y'all doing? I was confused. I almost took your seat.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. You got some passionate fans.
Yeah, amazing. The best.
You've had such an interesting career. You know, you're obviously a very young man, but you've had 6 years here already, got a lot of work under your belt. I just want to go back to, 6 years ago when you put out, your first song that really got the attention of the world. If you could go back and talk to that person, what sort of guidance would you give to that young Cuco?
Man, it's crazy because I don't know if I'd go back and change a lot of things because I'm actually really proud of how far I've gotten. I think the I think the growth is something that I without any obstacle, I don't think I'd be where I'm at, and I think I'm very thankful that I'm where I'm at. I think my scope of who I have around me, what choices I make for myself, for my career, for the people around me, I think it's all been pretty good. I feel like I would just get some more words of encouragement in my younger self because I didn't like myself, but that was it, I think nothing had to change.
I remember when you first came out, there was a big narrative about you that, there was this big bidding war for signing Google and, we're the face of a new generation. And I remember thinking, this is so much pressure to put on a young man. Did you feel like there was a weight on your shoulder to be a representation of your generation?
Yeah, yes and no. I think it all was gonna get sorted out because I think on the legal side and logistical side of stuff, I think everything was gonna get taken care of. But I think I've always just kind of represented myself, being just born and raised in LA and coming from Mexican parents and just I don't know. I represent myself the way I represent the way I grew up, and I feel like it's good to do that because I feel like there's a lot of other Chicano artists and just artists that grew up different ways, that grew up in the middle of America or on the East Coast and had different experiences than I did, and they're just representing themselves in that way. So I think just staying true to that is important. But I never took that pressure of the bidding war and stuff like that. It was just I already had just so much going on with touring and everything like that. I was man, I don't even know what this means.
Now, this year has been a huge year for Mexican artists, Peso Pluma and Fuerza Regida, and, a lot of artists are really breaking through into the mainstream. That has not always been the case. When you were growing up, were there Mexican artists that you looked to as role models and influenced you?
I think when I was growing up, a lot of the Mexican artists that were I was listening to, my dad used to have me listen to a lot of rock en español. Bolero, romantica. So, but it was a lot of stuff that was popping in Mexico and back in the day, things that weren't super present. Obviously, when you think about Mexican American and think about Richie Valens, Selena. I like Pierce the Veil too. That was that was my shit. And it was cool. It was cool that they were Mexican, but it definitely wasn't super common to have Mexican American artists at the forefront. And it was even weird going into meetings and people just kind of were so you're making Latin music? And I'm I mean, kinda. But it's what I mean, it's all over the place. So but I'm thankful that eventually the doors opened up and people started understanding what kind of it is to grow up listening to all kinds of music, being inspired by everything. And it's cool. It's groundbreaking. You have all these new artists and new ways for things to blow up. Now you got TikTok and all these things that just make people could kind of go like viral overnight, and it's cool. It's kind of wild. I can't keep up, but I think it's dope.
Now you talk about opening up doors. A lot of the artists that we've had on the show here and interviewed have referenced you as somebody who opened up doors. You know, people like Danny Lux have talked about you as the big homie who really.
Danny.
And you have collaborated with so many artists. I mean, you've got a new song with Conexión Divina. You got songs with Bratty. You got songs, that really have started to build a community. Talk about this kind of scene of Mexican artists here in LA and all over that you've been working with.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. I think it's so sick. I think seeing all these artists come up, and it's so crazy to me when they tell me like, oh yeah, like I used to listen to you, because I feel old, like I'm not even that old, bro. Like, but it's crazy, but I get it too, because when I'm like was growing up and listening to music, I never thought in my life I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna meet like the dudes from like Polyphia or like Kevin Parker or like the homie Eric the Architect. Like I was just thinking in my head, like these are just people I'm inspired by, and I know what my references are. And hearing people say that to me is like so weird, just off rip. It's so like mind-boggling, but I think it's great. I think seeing all these artists come up, they all have a like a dream of moving forward and representing like themselves and the culture. I think the culture of like just being not only just Mexican, but just from wherever Hispanic country, and just all around like people of color that just have different like whereabouts of where they grew up and stuff. I think it's important. I think it's amazing. I think it's like it adds so much more flavor to like the industry. It's not just like the same old like the same format of like how things can blow up. Like there's so many. I don't know. I think it's just like dope seeing it. I think especially seeing how everybody has the same kind of like backstory of like, yo, I just have a dream and I want to make it happen, and seeing them be able to realize their dreams, like it's amazing. Oh, well.
That idea that there was this kind of narrow path that you had to conform to a certain style. I imagine coming up, you've received a lot of advice about your career over the years. What's some of the worst advice that you've been given about what you should do with your career?
Damn, let me think. I think when I was first like taking meetings at like some of the labels, they were just kind of like, oh yeah, it's because this thing that you're doing, you're just all over the place. It's not working. Like you gotta like that. I've literally heard somebody say like without saying it, like you just needed like the worst box and sticking to a box, like and being in the box, and it's just like not even subliminal, just straight up like, yo, just don't get out the box, bro. Like, but it's obviously that didn't follow through, because all the artists that are blowing up right now are entirely like in like an alternative world, like, and it's just all different. None of it's in the box. So I think that's probably some of the worst advice I've gotten.
And your outside of the boxness has gone into, so many different genres, including hip hop. You got track with YG, you got track with Lil Rob. I think one of my favorite moments in your career is the interview with Nardwar, which brought up like Immortal Technique and stuff like that. Talk about, the different sort of influences growing up. What was the sort of music that you were listening to in high school?
Oh, dude. It really starts from like, when I was a kid, man. Like, I mean, just my mom and dad always, like I said, put me on to like hella music. When I was with my grandparents, I was listening to like bolero, romanticas and stuff like that. Then like my uncles would always just like show me rap and stuff. My uncle Jaime, actually, he's here. He showed me Immortal Technique when I was like a kid. Yeah, and my uncle Ivan too, rest in peace. Like he also like put me onto a bunch of music. And also when I was growing up, we also had like the little TVs and had like the MTV, like the music videos. So I would always just watch like music videos when I came home from school, and like my parents like first bought the house, and it was like a little like CRT that just had like the just like whatever was playing, and then MTV was one of the channels. And yeah, just like hella like T-Pain, Eminem, and stuff like that. And the System of a Down came into my life, and I was like, bro, I know way too many System songs on guitar. Then like high school, I got super into like metal. That's still to this day like one of my main things. Metal. I like a lot of psychedelic music. Then eventually like just really find like weird, like narrow, like I don't know, like niches of like psych music and metal, and then like just getting into rap music. And rap music was made me want to like rap and psych made me want to produce. And metal. Those are like the three main things that made me produce. And yeah, so that's kind of like the gist of it. And it's an iceberg. That's just like the tip of the iceberg.
For this last album, you went down to Mexico City to write and to record. Was spending time in Mexico part of your childhood? Was that something that you had done before?
Yeah, my mom and dad would take me whenever they could. I would go to like CDMX because that's where my dad's from, and then my mom would take me to like Puebla because that's where our family's from. Yeah, like I mean I didn't really go with my dad to Mexico City until like 2015, 16 because he didn't have his papers yet, and then we finally went for the first time. And I didn't go a lot because then like shortly after that, like my career started. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was just always there, and I always remember like Puebla, like super vividly being in Mexico City, like the smells of what it's like being there, and then being back to play shows, and like I don't know, it's so crazy. And then being there for a whole month to just write the album was amazing. Like me and like all the whole village of people that were working with me on the album, like it was such a good vibe, and it helped me grow like as an artist for sure.
And then after this album, you've been really public about your recovery and some like personal changes going on in your life. What's been the response from the community of fans that you had about sharing that?
How you guys feel? Feel good. Feel good, yeah. Yeah, I feel great, man. I think just picking sobriety up was one of the craziest, the craziest challenges for sure. It was tough, but after a couple months, it became kind of just easy. And yeah, man, it's sick. I think recovery is kind of a long-term thing because I somehow end up always getting myself hurt because I got into like climbing after I finished, after I stopped drinking, and I got injured. I had 2 surgeries because of climbing. Now I'm just working out and staying on the floor, on the ground, because getting up on the walls is kind of gnarly. I don't want to break a finger and then like not play music. So, but no, it's been good. I feel really thankful. Thankful that I'm here. Thankful that the people around me support it, and they're around to see that growth.
There seems to be such a foundation of happiness for other people's happiness in your life. Do you feel as though you have any sort of philosophy of what is the energy that you want to bring to the world?
I really just want to go down like as a person who impacted and like did good things, to help people out, like just motivate and be able to be like a light to people, because yeah, I think down the line when our career started and stuff, it was all just so crazy, just battling through so many things, and finally like coming back to like what was the goal like forever, and it's just to be impactful, because I don't think like if you're an artist and you're not trying to impact and make the best, give like this other meaning to like, at least even in that moment when people are listening to your stuff or absorbing or reading, like anything that you do, like if you're not impacting in a positive way, then you're doing your job right. So that's ultimately the goal, like just to help out people and motivate people to help other people, because I'm thankful that I have a whole circle of people that are around me to help out, and I always want to be able to be that for them and be able to one way or another do that for like the people that support me.
Well, you can feel the energy from your fans. You obviously mean so much to them.
I'm thankful. I really appreciate you guys.